Go, hit it.
I'm Kate Webster,
And I'm Rebecca Reynolds.
and this is our dramatic interpretation of the Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. I have no intention of explaining how this correspondence, which I now offer to the public, fell into my hands. There are two equal and opposite errors into which our ways can fall about devils. One is to disbelieve them, and the other is to believe and feel an excessive and unhealthy interest in them. They themselves, they are equally pleased by both errors, and hail materialists or magicians with the same delight. Not everything that C.S. Lewis says in his book applies to everybody, but what C.S. Lewis covers, it just applies to what people do in everyday life. What he says just... The sort of script obtained by this book can be easily obtained by anyone in the general public, but not of ill-advised people who might make bad use of it. They shall not learn it from me. C.S. Lewis.
My dear Jacqueline, I'm pleased to hear that you have graduated from the training college. Now it is time to put your newfound knowledge to the test. I intend to be your mentor and trainer until you become experienced enough to handle situations on your own. Affectionately, Screwtape.
So Screwtape. I've been watching What's His Face for the past couple days. It's not good. He's resisted for the most part any temptation I had up my sleeve. He's been reading the Bible every single day. But chill, it's okay. He still hangs with people under our control, if you know what I mean. But he is going to church every week, and he never did that before. Is there anything I can do about this?
My dear one, I note with great displeasure that your patient has become a Christian. Do not indulge the hope that you will escape the usual penalties, but there is no need to despair. Hundreds of these adult converts have been reclaimed after a brief sojourn in the enemy's camp and are now with us. All the habits of our patient, both mental and bodily, are still in our favor, but you must press your advantage. Double your efforts to retake the patient from the ever-continuing affectionately, Screwtape.
So Screwtape. I kind of figured the whole Christian thing. I mean, it was pretty obvious if I do say so myself. I don't think this double thing's working out for me so well, but that's all in the past. I have found a weakness in his new belief. It's his mother. They don't get along so well. I mean, there's just this general contempt in their relationship, and I figure if I can just pressure it just a little bit, they'll shatter like a chipped window into a million tiny pieces. And the best part, his mother doesn't get along with him so well either. There's just this not-so-goodness vibe going on in their relationship, but he is praying about her a lot. How can I turn this obedient behavior into something that our Father approves of?
My dear son, I'm very pleased by what you tell me of this man's relation with his mother, but you must press your advantage. Build up between them in the house a good little habit of mutual annoyance, daily pinpricks. The following methods are useful for creating a rift between mother and son. Make sure that he believes that his newfound faith is an emotion instead of an action. You must bring him into a condition in which he can practice self-examination for an hour without discovering any of those facts, which are perfectly clear to anyone who had ever lived in the same house with him or worked in the same office. While it is no doubt impossible to prevent his praying for his mother, we do have ways of rendering those prayers innocuous. Make sure that he's always very spiritual, that he's concerned with the state of her soul, but never with her rheumatism. Two advantages will follow. Firstly, since his intentions will be kept on what he regards as her sins, a little persuasion from you can make him think that anything that is the slightest bit irritating can be regarded as sins. Secondly, since his ideas about her soul will be crude and often erroneous, he will, in some degree, be praying for an imaginary person. And it will be your duty to make that imaginary person daily less and less like the real mother. In time, you may get the chasm so wide that no thought or feeling from his prayers will ever flow over into his children.
So Screwtape, guess what? It's working. More like I'm working it, but whatever. Patient and his mother, they're pretty much doomed. You know what's even better? I found another weakness. You know how I was saying he was chilling with some bad dudes? It's gotten worse. Now he totally enjoys hanging out with them, and he's starting to need it to increase his social standing. What can I say?
My dearest one, I'm delighted to hear that your patient has made some new acquaintances. For our father, this is very desirable. They're just the sort of people that we wanted to know. You seem to have made good use of his vanity, both social and intellectual, but you still must push him further. There's a subtle play of looks and laughs and tones, by which a mortal can imply that he is of the same party as those to whom he is speaking. That is the sort of betrayal that you want to specifically encourage, because the man does not fully realize it himself, and by the time he does, you will have made withdrawal difficult. All mortals tend to turn into the thing that they are pretending to be. This, my dear Elmer, is elementary. Affectionately, Screwtape.
Screwtape, I totally got this devil thing down pat. You know how I was saying he was chilling with those bad dudes? Well, they introduced him to more people of the same morals, if you know what I mean. It happened last night, to be exact. He met up with some buddies at a bar, and slowly Mr. Churchy loosened his tongue. He started making jokes about people in the church, things that would not have been funny before. Oh, now they're hilarious. I think he's slowly coming back. What can I say? I think I got the hang of this devil thing.
This is only a portion of the wisdom that C.S. Lewis imparts in his book, The Screwtape Letters. The book's original format lacks Wormwood's experiences in response to Screwtape's advice. To make these letters more relatable, we chose letters that pertain to daily life. After doing this, we formulated questions and appropriate answers that correlated with the responses given in the book.
You all might be wondering why we chose Screwtape Letters as our semester project. For me, it was because the first time I read it, it spoke to me and my worldly desires. C.S. Lewis, unlike many popular authors only wishing to please their audience, he didn't sugarcoat the truth. He didn't dodge the heavy topics or shy away from the hard issues. He faced them head on. And by addressing things that everyday people struggle with, he points out how to stay clear of the devil's schemes.
Through his book, The Screwtape Letters, C.S. Lewis challenges the reader. What really struck me was when he wrote about the daily pinpricks in life, especially about those in the home. While it would be easy to say that this is something that most children struggle with early on, in reality, troubles with relationships in the home are not restricted by age or time. Instead, this struggle tends to be one of a lifetime. We should not allow ourselves to fall into the trap that it's just a cultural thing. Disrespect towards our parents and siblings is something that everybody does, so we should do it too. As Screwtape said in one of his letters, all mortals tend to turn into the thing that they are pretending to be. If we conform ourselves to the ways of this world, then that is what we will become. And although it might not seem like it now, disrespect towards our parents and siblings will affect our walk with the Lord in the future. I'd like to end with this quote by C.S. Lewis. Indeed, the road to hell is a gradual one, a gentle slope, without sudden turnings, without milestones.